2, 1. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy 2005.
It was 2005. Madagascar hit theaters, John Cena won his first ever WWE Championship, YouTube debuted, yes really, God help us, time is moving way too fast, and the Chicago White Sox won the World Series? What the fuck? The Xbox 360, Microsoft's second attempt into the gaming space, ended up being a massive hit, selling about 85.73 million units over the course of its life, and becoming a staple in the teenage years and childhoods of people all over the world. I could sit here and give you a history lesson diving into the details of the launch, how massive it was, and how Microsoft cemented themselves into the gaming sphere with one of the most infamous console errors of our lifetime.
2 weeks, man! I've had this thing 2 weeks!
What you're about to see here, my fucking Xbox not fucking working. My Xbox!
You blew it.
But there's plenty of other videos all over YouTube that can enrich you that way. What I want to do is give my own personal stories with the system. The stories that shaped the 7th generation of video games into a time that I will never ever forget. And I cherish the memories I made within it. The Xbox 360 is my favorite console of all time. And this is my history with it. It's 2006. By this point, I was 13 years old. Two things were always on my brain: WWE and Sonic the Hedgehog. Yes, really. So when I saw the trailer for Sonic 06 drop way back when, my brain exploded with hype. Holy shit, this game looks incredible! I can't wait to play it on my PlayStation 2. It's coming to PS2, right? Shit. Looks like I needed to upgrade. So I at first wanted the PlayStation 3. Since I had a PS2 and a PS1, I figured it was the next step up. My only exposure to the Xbox in its original run was walking into either a Babbage's or a Funko Land, yeah, remember those, in 2001 and seeing this standee advertisement for a little game called Halo Combat Evolved. Seeing this advertisement and playing on the kiosk lit my imagination ablaze. But what was the game I wanted to play on the Xbox? What the fuck was wrong with me at 8 years old? Fast forward back to 2006. I was dead set on trying to get a PlayStation 3. And then I saw this.
The 60GB PlayStation 3 for $599 US.
Yeah, fuck that price. So the dream was dead. I had no real means of playing Sonic 06. That was until I found out one of my friends in my neighborhood had an Xbox 360 and got Sonic 06 so we could play it together. When I was greeted by the dashboard for the first time, wow, was I blown away. It was so totally futuristic looking, and I loved that. How it sounded navigating the menus. It felt kind of surreal playing on this souped up piece of tech. When we finally got to play Sonic 06, I was kind of surprised at how much fun I was having with it. Yes, I like Sonic 06, boo-hoo, cry about it in the comments telling me how wrong I am while pissing and shitting yourself. We actually attempted to record a review of the game using a handheld video camera. That review never made it online, and I'm sure the footage is lost. We were just two kids enjoying ourselves. A little bit further down the line, my friend gave me his copy of Sonic 06. Soon enough, I wanted to show my other friends the game, so I brought the game to my other friend's house, and we played it till the end of the story. While a miserable experience during the end of the world, seriously, fuck that gauntlet, it was a fun time. After a few days of messing with the multiplayer, this is when he opened my eyes to the world of Halo. Since then, I never looked back. He showed me Halo 2 for the first time, and I sucked absolute dog water at it, but I was having fun. I was set on it. I wanted to get my own Xbox 360 in the future. Gotta hit the fast forward button now to 2007.
I guess. Do you think we'll ever meet them? I hope so. Don't you? Do you think we'll ever meet them?
If you were not around for Halo 3's initial launch, I honestly feel bad. Truly. It was a cultural event like nothing I had ever seen in my life up to that point. Everyone and their mother knew Halo 3 was coming. It was everywhere. Advertisements during NFL games. I distinctly remember seeing an ad for it during an episode of Monday Night Raw. On the sides of buildings, posters, pajama pants, t-shirts, a Burger King collab, a collab with 7-Eleven, which I still have a cup from to this very day, and the most memorable collab with Mountain Dew. blessing the world with the god's nectar known as Game Fuel Citrus Cherry. An advertising blitz like no other, along with some of the greatest ads ever produced.
If there's one reason why we're here, I would say it's because of the chief.
Microsoft went all out to make sure you knew Halo 3 was coming, and it was a hit like nothing before it. Making more money than Spider-Man 3 did in its opening weekend on day one, Halo 3 was the reason to own an Xbox 360. So come December of 2007, it finally happened. The kids were allowed a few gifts on Christmas Eve, and I opened, if I remember right, Tony Hawk's Proving Ground, SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, both for the Xbox 360, and I think a 12-month membership to Xbox Live. I looked confused and looked at my mom, who had that knowing smile. We went home that night, and the next morning I opened my gifts, and there it was. The Xbox 360 in all its shiny, chunky white glory, along with a pre-order for Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Seriously, the hype for Brawl was biblical. And I got a Wii earlier in the year. Yes, sir, I was a Wii 60 owner. Up until I got my 360, I spent a lot of time on my Wii. Lots of Wii Sports and Sonic and the Secret Rings, along with browsing YouTube videos on the internet channel. Good times. I hurried to my room to hook up my console and get playing. And I was greeted once again by one of the greatest boot-ups of all time. Then I was greeted by the dashboard, the central hub of all things Xbox 360 with its really sleek, futuristic design, and I still can't get over how good it looks. The Blades dashboard has gone down as one of the most memorable UIs in console gaming. The media section is where I spent a lot of my time, ripping CDs that I was able to play while gaming. There was no cooler feeling than hauling ass in multiplayer as Disturbed's Down with the Sickness or Alter Bridge's Metalingus was blaring in the background. Streaming wasn't a thing back then. There was also fully customizing the dashboard and the guide. The Xbox 360 Marketplace was a really cool storefront to explore where you could grab movies, DLC, and so on. I spent a lot of my time in here grabbing free themes and gamer pictures, a lot of which I still have downloaded today. No joke, here's some footage from my Xbox 360 recorded for this video. With so much to do and a lot to play with, and not a lot of time to take it all in, I got started with Sonic 06 again. Listen, it was fun to finally play it on my own console. Later that day, my aunt gave me the greatest gift I could have ever received. A brand new copy of Halo 3, 2007's biggest game. I was beside myself and ready to take on the Covenant and finish the fight, even though I didn't play the other games yet. Eventually, when the year turned to 2008, I was missing one key component of the experience: Xbox Live. Soon enough, in January of 08, my uncle had brought me a router and got me up and running with Xbox Live. That afternoon, all I played was Halo 3. Playing Halo 3 online for the first time in an online population with over 300,000 plus people playing felt like I was part of an online gaming community for the first time truly ever. I never got to experience things like World of Warcraft, RuneScape, or Toontown Online way back when. A lot of the time I just played single player on my PlayStation 2 and GameCube. The 360 was my first real experience with playing with people across the world. I got put through basic training in multiplayer, slowly working my way up the in-game progression system, which still has yet to be matched today. Seriously, what the hell is this in Halo Infinite? Eventually, I got trash-talked pretty severely and called all kinds of things. It was during a match of Rumble Pit on Guardian. I remember someone calling me the F-slur multiple times because I wanted to see if I could win just using plasma grenades because I thought sticking people was funny. I had never experienced that harsh of an environment before, so I went on SmackDown vs. Raw for a time. Eventually, I wanted to go back to Halo 3 because I genuinely loved playing it, so I did. I got invited to a custom game lobby by someone I met in matchmaking. That was commonplace in Halo 3 way back when. You'd just join random lobbies you get invited to. We played all kinds of wacky-ass custom games like The Train, Shut the Door, and so on. There was another custom game on Last Resort with zombies where the survivors had to make their way to a teleporter and they'd get teleported up here. I cannot for the life of me remember the name of the map, so if anyone in the comments can help me, let me know if you recall that map. Halo 3 is where I made so many friends and spent so much of my time in. Every Friday before school, I recall checking Bungie.net that morning to see what the Double XP weekend was going to be for Halo 3. Griffball was my personal favorite, along with Shoddy Snipers. It wasn't just limited to the people I met online. A lot of my friends from school also played Halo 3. I distinctly remember playing multiple matches with my cousin, his friends, some of my classmates, people I knew around my neighborhood. It was a very cherished time in my life, and not once did I take it for granted. One memory that still sticks out in my mind about Halo 3 was one of my cousin's friends, someone I knew from school, challenged me to a 1v1 on Stand Trap, with lasers and snipers only. I ended up winning the match. Eventually, he wanted to pit me against him, my cousin, their other friend in a 3v1, and I ended up winning that match too. I was a growing force on Halo 3, and as time went on, I only got better. Now for a thing I almost did, and I'm so fucking glad I didn't end up doing. At one point, I was getting really good at Halo. So good I spent most of my time in the MLG playlist on Halo 3, learning spawns, respawn times, weapon rotation, and so on, as well as callouts. So I contemplated the idea of dropping out of high school to go compete on the MLG Pro Circuit. I had a lot of big dreams. I wanted to be a WWE superstar, play professional Halo, or work at Bungie. None of them came true. Very thankful I changed my mind, stayed the course, and I graduated. Especially given the state of Halo now. If I keep going on and on about Halo, we'll be here all day or night, and I won't have any stories to tell for the Machinima project that I'm working on. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yes, it's still coming. It's quickly becoming a meme, I know. So let's move along to another game I borrowed from a friend that same year.
50,000 people used to live here. Now it's a ghost town.
Call of Duty 4 and I had a love-hate relationship. I was a dedicated Halo player, I was diehard, and I thought this game at first sucked massive dick. Put the pitchforks down! I genuinely love this game. COD 4 holds some very near-dear memories for me. One of them in particular was the custom game of Michael Myers. In this game, if memory serves me right, you had one life, the enemy can only use their knife, and the rest of the players have to run and hide to escape. A lot of the time we played this mode on Crossfire, a lot of areas you can hide in, and plenty of places to run. Anytime you were spotted, it was a mad dash to hope you can outrun them. Always a good time. One other mode I semi-enjoyed was Search and Destroy, mostly because of the trash talk. Oh my fucking god. The trash talking in Call of Duty was something that leave you either completely horrified or laughing your ass off just because of the sheer absurdity you'd hear. It was the Wild West whenever you had that headset on and you knew you'd hear some of the worst things imaginable. The things I'd hear, I cannot even repeat in this video. Just trust me when I tell you it was something else. When all else failed, the one mode I always turned to was Team Deathmatch. Always lobbies going on, always people talking shit and just shooting the hell out of each other. It was one of the best all-time Call of Duties, and I'm so thankful you can still find games on it today. On top of shooters, there were a few other games I absolutely had a blast with on the 360. Guitar Hero and Rock Band being two of them. Up until these games, I only had played Parappa the Rapper. So this was my first dabble into the music game scene since the late 90s. At first, I played Guitar Hero 3 on the Wii when my cousin got it as a gift. Eventually, I got it for the Xbox 360 along with Guitar Hero 2 for my birthday. These games helped shape my music taste for the rest of my life, along with WWE. Guitar Hero 3 to me is still one of the best rhythm games ever made, bar none. The set list is untouchable, with so many master recordings. It was truly the moment where Guitar Hero hit the top of the mountain, as well as breaking the fingers of people across the world with the face melting through the fire and the flames. The one achievement that still eludes me to this day. Someday. While writing the script for this video, I ended up trying to go online and maybe find any players on the old Guitar Hero games. I tried 3 nights in a row with no luck, but on the 4th, I found someone. Still rocking like it's 2007. Rock on, man! Thank you for the matches if you're watching this somehow. I also remember sinking a lot of time into Grand Theft Auto 4. The story was arguably one of the best that Rockstar ever did. Niko Bellic was such a great character with a really compelling backstory that I wanted to learn more about. What made him tick? But after all that was done and polished off, the multiplayer was a stupid blast. Free mode was the game mode I frequented the most during this time. Just a bunch of players having the entirety of Liberty City as their playground. I distinctly remember the time where me and my friends held out in this particular hospital. We'd just arm ourselves with machine guns and rockets to try to survive the onslaught of the police. The longest we held out for was maybe about an hour. And then we ran out of ammo. Tried to get away, but we were shot stone dead. There was also the infamous swing set of death. It was a swing set on a playground with really wacky collision, and sometimes it sent cars either to a fiery demise by exploding them, or sending it hurling off into the distance. The amount of hours I spent on this playground was insane. It also wasn't just vehicles too, like you could just jump on it and then it would just either fling you into the air or instantly kill you. It was very unpredictable. Very, very fond memories I have on this game, that's for sure. Loved my time in Liberty City. The 360 offered more than just the big, beefy, manly man games. There was also the sheer greatness that was the Xbox Live Arcade. The XBLA was a nice little pit stop away from all the big games you normally play, and this place offered smaller but really fun experiences. One game that vividly comes to mind was Uno. Uno was my first Xbox Live Arcade game. If you played the actual card game, then you know how to play this. It was a really fun kickback game to relax with your friends or meet new people. I vividly remember this being the game me and my friends would default to when our party on Halo would go from 8 to 9 to about 3 or so. We'd go on to end our night and then head to bed. I do recall moments playing Uno when some very odd moments happened. One in particular was a time I was playing by myself and a dude joined the call with his Xbox Live Vision Cam on. For those unaware, the Xbox Live Vision Cam was just that, a webcam you plug directly into the console. But it wasn't what you'd expect. This guy made a puppet of an actual ham sandwich, olives for the eyes, had the headset on the sandwich, and had a string attached to the bread and lifted it up and down to make it look like the sandwich was talking, and he just kept talking while playing. I was in hysterics just watching, and when he lost the game, he threw the sandwich and disconnected. Truly one of the funniest moments I've ever seen on a video game. Oh my god, I don't know what compelled that guy to do that, but it was so fucking funny. One other game I played a lot of on Xbox Live was Bomberman Live. If you know how to play Bomberman, that's all it was, 3D Bomberman over Xbox Live. As you played, you unlocked more and more costumes to make your bomber your own. A very fun game when it was active. Eventually, a newer version of the game, Bomberman Live Battlefest, would eventually release. The game today is backwards compatible on Xbox Series consoles, but unfortunately no one plays it. Kind of sad. I hope people end up trying to repopulate it someday. Between this, Splosion Man, Hydro Thunder, Castle Crashers, Battlefield 1943, and so on, the Xbox Live Arcade had a lot of great games to play. Truly a one-of-a-kind experience. As time marched forward, it'd be November of 2008, and a game I knew very little about was getting a lot of advertising on the dashboard, Gears of War 2. Now, before we go into this section of the video, I didn't have any experience with Gears, at all. Up until Gears of War 2, a lot of my friends were getting excited about it, and I wanted to join in. So what did I do? I got the collector's edition of the game that came with the Golden Lancer, which I still have to this day. I was a little shit. I like the fancy gold coating. After splattering Lord knows how many locusts with my friends on Horde mode, I eventually played through the campaign. Boy was I glad I did. Genuinely one of the best stories I've ever played, with action-packed sequences and enough blood to fill a blood bank. Gears 2 was a fantastic ride that I didn't even get to finish because at that moment, I was faced with something no Xbox 360 owner wanted to see. During one of the missions when you were fighting the Locust underground, I started to notice some very weird dead-looking pixels on my screen. At first I thought it was my TV, but no, it wasn't that. So I ended up going back to the dashboard. Maybe something was wrong with the game and I had to just reset. Then I noticed some artifacting on my dashboard. Getting nervous, I turned the console off thinking it was overheating. I let it sit for a few hours to try and let it cool off and then turn it on again later. And when I turned it on again later, I was met with this. Yep, my console bit the dust with the E74 error. I was devastated. I took good care of my Xbox. I kept it on its side, dust-free, and in a spot where my air conditioner kept it and my room constantly cool. So I made the unfortunate call to Microsoft to start the repair process. The next few days, I was thinking of other ways to buy another Xbox. Microsoft hooked me and I wasn't going to leave the 360 behind. When the box arrived to ship it off, my uncle called me who knew a thing or two about computer parts. Turns out my 360 had the same red ring issue my cousin had, so he said he'll be happy to drop by and take it back to his house. So I called Microsoft back and canceled the repair. That same day, my uncle drops by and took my Xbox. I was without it for maybe about a week or so. Eventually, he brought it back, and I turned it on. The red was gone, and it was all green, sounding like a race car, since he put new fans in there to keep it that much cooler. He gave me 4,000 Microsoft points as a gift, while throwing the plastic case it came in right at my face. Seriously, why did Microsoft pack their shit like this? My 360 was back up and running with a brand new dashboard, and I was back to playing games. All was right with the world. This new dashboard had some new features, as well as some games that take full advantage of the newest addition to Xbox, the avatars. Let's be honest, if you had a Wii, you know where Microsoft got the inspiration for these guys. Yep, your own Mii equivalent on Xbox 360. It was just that, a virtual you. But it wasn't limited to just clothes you can change. You could also buy stuff for your avatar, props from games, real life, other stuff. It was really neat to have this one little part of the overall experience so open-ended to customization. A lot of my friends changed their avatars to fit the month or the seasons. Here's a little bit of footage of stuff that I have for my avatar. I spent a little bit of money on getting things for this dude. It was cool. I still customize him to this day. Other than seeing your avatar on the dashboard, some games would make use of the avatars, like Kingdom of Keflings. Uno would eventually include the avatars as part of the overall experience. Doritos Crash Course was another one, and one other game I know a lot of people loved was Castle Miner Z. I never played it myself, but I know it was popular. But there was one Avatar game that stood above them all as arguably the biggest of them all, but we'll get back to that later. September 2009 rolled around and Bungie was back with an all-new experience, Halo 3 ODST. Instead of the towering Hulk that is the Master Chief, you're a squishy human. Not an unstoppable super soldier, one of the best, the ODSTs, the Orbital Drop Shock Troopers, the Hell Jumpers. If you know about this game, I really don't have to explain it to you. One of the main draws for me, aside from it just being more Halo, was the firefight mode, where you could team up with your friends to take out the Covenant across New Mombasa. There was one other thing that had me run down to the store the day that Firefight was showcased.
Pre-order your copy of Halo 3 ODST at participating retailers now, and you'll get all the confidence you need. Me!
Yup, you could get Sergeant Johnson as a playable character in Firefight. Fucking sold! I raced down to the store to get my copy locked in for the launch. This was also the continuation of Bungie's Road to Recon that started with Halo Wars. And if you do know about the legendary stories of Recon armor, you knew how hard it was to obtain. You had to either get on Bungie favorites on Halo 3, beat Bungie by getting a Steak-tacular against them on Bungie Day if you met them in matchmaking, which was, well...
Oh my god! Holy shit! Oh no! Holy shit! Oh no! Dude! Oh my god, we just got shat on!
Yeah, pretty fucking impossible, but this opened the door to the dedicated few that would be willing to put themselves through literal hell to get this legendary bit of armor. And did I do it?
You bet your sweet bippy I did!
The hardest achievements to ever obtain. Some of them were pretty tough, but this one was literal hell.
Endure. So this one is pretty interesting. This is probably our hardest achievement, I would say, the VidMasters.
Probably, yeah. It earns its name, I'd say. The goal here, basically,
Get through
is
the
to
fourth set.
Get through the fourth set. Get to set 5.
We should give a little backstory because originally Endure was on Legendary required.
It's heroic now.
And get to set 7, or rather through set 7. And
yeah, as opposed to through set 4.
We quickly realized that we had to bring it down a little bit, otherwise no one would ever be able to get Recon. And we wanted, you know what, we wanted to give people Recon.
Yeah, Bungie, I don't know what you were smoking when you were making this and trying to decide what you're going to do for these achievements, but I am glad you toned it down from Legendary to Heroic. Still a headache, all things considered, but it was so damn worth it. This was the last one I needed, and when it popped up on my screen, I had the largest headache imaginable. But I ran to Bungie.net, claimed my Recon, and there it was, in all its glory. I did it. I put myself through Bungie's gauntlet from hell to get the hardest pieces of armor to ever obtain. It was worth it. Sadly, I've since lost my recon because of the Halo 3 servers being turned off by Halo Studios. I'm sad about it, but I'm glad I went through it all, and I have the stories to keep that legendary tale alive. Do y'all remember that Avatar game I teased earlier?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to a Tuesday night edition, our very first ever Tuesday night edition of 1 vs. 100 on Xbox Live. I am your host, Chris Cashman. Thrilled to have you here. Live show at xbox.com is our email. Write that down. Over 33,000 people playing live as we speak. Don't freak out.
November 2009 marked the debut of 1 vs. 100 on Xbox Live. An actual real live game show being played by hundreds of thousands of people. Here's how it worked. The one is asked general trivia questions. If the one gets it right, they stay in the game. And if members of the 100 or the mob get it wrong, the one earns money, or in this case Microsoft points, to spend on the marketplace. As more people are eliminated from the mob, the player is given a choice to either take the money or keep gambling it all. If the one gets it wrong at any point, they lose everything. So it was definite risk and reward. I've seen the one beat the mob only a few times. When one of the rounds is over, the host on the floor sends it to the actual host of the game, speaking live from a studio in real time to the player base.
Big Daddy Ed, the first one of the night here on 1 vs. 100 on Xbox Live, and welcome to the thousands and thousands of you. My ticker stopped at 50,000. This is incredible here. 50,000 people joining us live from across the U.S. and Canada for 1 vs. 100 on our premiere here tonight, our maiden voyage. Coming out of the chute with guns ablaze, and we got some big things in store for you tonight, in addition to some great trivia and some fun we've got planned. We've got shout-outs. Now, here's how you can get in touch with us, because this is a two-way street. I like to say that we're sort of, we're really what the Snuggie is to blankets, to what video games are. We've given armholes to the games. We're letting you reach back and touch us here. Xbox.com/1 vs. 100. That's our message boards. Okay, so you can write on there, tell us what you're thinking, where you're from, you want to give shout-outs, any of that kind of thing. But if you want to get in touch with us personally, email liveshow@xbox.com.
You could send in fan mail, messages, shout-outs, and he'd read it on the air. It was a really cool interactive experience, and I wish Microsoft would do something like this again. It was so cool. I distinctly remember being in the lobby before the show started, doing little dances with my friends. It was a good time. There were plenty of other games I played during this year too. That same month in November, Modern Warfare 2 dropped. MW2's hype lead-up was legendary. And when the game dropped, oh my god, the talk amongst my school was getting nukes and trick-shotting. I wasn't very good at MW2, as I was at COD 4, but definitely enjoyed its gameplay and combat loop. Shout out to all my fellow Javelin glitchers. Guitar Hero Metallica melted my face with some of the hardest tracks I've ever played. It's not an easy Guitar Hero game to play at all. Some of the songs are honestly some of the most challenging in the entire series. Games like Assassin's Creed 2 and Left 4 Dead 2 also had my attention a ton. Left 4 Dead 2 was a constant. So many nights of just trying to get through the campaigns and usually dying at the finale. There's so many more I can go into, but let's fast forward to May of 2010 with another neat story from this time. I'm sorry I'm jumping around a lot. It's a lot of ground to cover, and I don't want to take too much of your time. So, let's set the groundwork here. It's my junior year of high school. The year is getting close to being over, and Bungie is about to drop the beta for the upcoming Halo Reach on the world. I was fully prepared to go into school the next day being beta day. I wake up, and I'm totally late for school. I missed the bus. I didn't get a chance to have breakfast. I'm running around the house just trying to get ready to run out the door to get to school and hopefully not get in too much trouble. But before I went out the door, my mom stopped me. She said I'm not going into school that day, and I asked her why. Why am I not going into school? She said, "You're sick," quote unquote. She said that I had a headache and kept me home for the beta. Thanks, Mom. You fucking rock. So I ended up playing it all day and into the night. I couldn't pull 2 days in a row, so I had to go into school the next day. You know, hey, a deal's a deal, I guess. I played that beta the entire duration, day and night. If I wasn't doing schoolwork, I was fragging noobs on Stockpile on Powerhouse. Once it was all over and the beta concluded, I was that much more hyped for Halo Reach's release later in the fall. If I'm not mistaken, 1 vs. 100 is still going on at this time, along with other games I was playing at this time, like MW2 and Split Second. Okay, hold on. Before I go any further, y'all, if you guys never played Split Second, I am so sorry. You missed out on, like, one of the greatest racing games ever fucking made. This game was like Forza Horizon, minus the open world, on fucking batshit loony drugs. Like, every other turn was an explosion, or something huge barreling down like a plane falling down or something, breaking the course and changing it into something different mid-race. It was a total fucking roller coaster, and God, I wish it was still around today. Damn you, Disney Interactive! You had gold here and you blew it!
You blew it! You had it all and you blew it!
Fast forward a bit to September of 2010. The launch of Halo Reach was upon us, and I was fully stoked. My mom allowed me to go down to FYE, that was the local game store I had here, for the midnight release of the game. I had never been to a midnight release before, so I was fully unprepared for the sheer hype outside the store. I was one of the first to arrive to pick up the game, but slowly but surely, more and more people were lining up. Soon enough, the manager of the store, who I was friends with, had everybody line up, since people were kind of just drifting in and out of line, but had everybody line up to get us all ready for the midnight release. And when midnight came, I paid off my copy, and there it was in my hand. Halo Reach in all its glory. So I rushed out the door and ran back home so I can get back online and play a little bit before I had to go to sleep. I had school the next day. As I got home, I threw the disc in my 360 and watched that population counter just fly up as the night went on. Over the course of the 360's life, I went to several midnight launches. I went to the midnight launch for Reach, as I just talked about, Gears of War 3, Modern Warfare 3, and Grand Theft Auto 5. The midnight launch is a lost art these days, I feel, and while GameStop has been doing them somewhat recently, especially with the launch of the Switch 2, it just makes me all the more sad that games are more digital only instead of physical. It won't be long till it's all digital, period. As time went on, the year 2013 had come. The next gen, or better yet, the soon enough death blow to Xbox that they never really recovered from.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Xbox One.
Watch TV. It's TV. TV and TV remote. TV experience. TV, 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 TV. Sports TV, TV, TV. Anybody?
I'm excited to announce that Xbox One will launch this November in 21 markets around the world at $499 in the US, and 499 euros in European markets, and 429 pounds in the UK.
That Xbox One reveal was a fucking train wreck. It had games that I wanted to play, but it could never reach the same heights as the Xbox 360. The PlayStation 4 quickly took over as the console to own that generation, and Xbox was left to lick its own self-inflicted wounds. I did buy an Xbox One because I wanted to play Killer Instinct and Titanfall, but a lot of my friends migrated over to PS4. Soon enough, as time passed, less and less time I'd spend in Xbox Live parties. No one in game chat talked. It felt like the era that I knew was all but basically over. The Xbox 360 to this day still stands as my favorite console ever made. From its wide library of games, its very active social community on Xbox Live, to making friends and memories with people all over the world. With the recent shutdown of the Xbox 360 marketplace, time will really tell how many years the 360 has left as a console you can still play online today. Thankfully, a lot of games were made backwards compatible on the latest Xboxes, and hopefully that trend continues into whatever Xbox does next. The current state of Xbox is a weird one.
What the fuck is going on?
With their exclusives basically going everywhere, the Xbox that was around during the era I've spent the last god knows how long yapping about is all but dead and buried. Regardless, the memories will live on for the rest of time. Happy 20th, Xbox 360. You were truly one of a kind.